Hello again, this is Pastor Tim coming to you from Central Texas, from the little towns of Bend and Lomita, where we have United Methodist churches on a circuit, small churches who have a big heart. We are remaining staunchly United Methodist. If you want to affiliate with us, if you have lost your United Methodist Church, be sure and contact us. Do so in the comments. We have been talking about the Bible and the things that are in the Bible, helping people with great themes and descriptions of what the individual books have in them, what the different parts of it are, help people get started. Today we're going to do something a little different. Since it is Palm Sunday today, we're going to talk about what it was that Palm Sunday was. In biblical text. Palm Sunday was the day that Jesus entered Jerusalem for the last time. This was around Passover. Passover was one of the three big feasts for the Jewish faith that asked that everyone who would possibly come would come to Jerusalem to worship in the temple. The Passover was the celebration of the freedom from slavery in Egypt, when Moses brought the last plague of the 10 plagues, which was the death of the firstborn. In order to avoid that plague, the Jewish people were to sacrifice a lamb, or to have a lamb, the blood of a lamb on the doorpost, as a sign of their faithfulness to God, as a sign of being belonging to the people of God. And then the angel of death would pass over that house. So in essence, they pass from death to life, from slavery to freedom. And so that was a celebration. That's a big event in the history of Israel. And it's a celebration to remember that feast. During that time, Jerusalem, which had about 40,000 people or so, would swell by sometimes more than 200,000 people, as all the folks would come as far as they could, sometimes a day, 2 days, 3 days, even 4 or more days of journey along the road. And they would wait until Sunday to come, because the Sabbath was on Saturday and you couldn't travel on the Sabbath. So the first day they could travel would be on Sunday. So they would be coming into Jerusalem, a great crowd of people coming. During this time, Jesus came in riding a donkey. That was a fulfillment of prophecy from the Old Testament, but it was also an animal of peace. A donkey, while a horse will ride into battle, a donkey will ride away from battle. So that's why it's considered an animal of peace. But he was riding that donkey along the road with his disciples. Now, his disciples may have been 12, the initial 12 disciples that traveled with him all the time, or it may have been 40, 50, 60 or more that were traveling with him on the road to Jerusalem. People along the way were excited about coming to the end of their journey. They were weary, and they may have been wanting something of a hero to come. There was a lot of oppression in the Roman world. The soldiers would march through the streets. There was taxation. There were crucifixions of people who caused major difficulty. The Romans were supposed to have crucified some 5,000 people during this period of time. And so there was a lot of fear, a lot of apprehension, a lot of frustration about not being able to do anything. So they were looking for a hero. And Jesus came along. He was not the hero they were looking for. He would not do what they expected. But they would shout, Hosanna, which means save us. They were looking for Jesus in the tradition of the Messiah, the expected one from God who would make things right. who would be a conquering hero. And they thought maybe Jesus would be that, maybe even encourage Jesus to do that. They put their garments on the road so that the donkey could walk across them. They also put palm leaves and other branches on the road. That made a kind of a red carpet for him. I considered that that might be a fairly innocent activity, but then it came to my attention that maybe it was not an innocent activity, and it was maybe dangerous because the people were shouting to Jesus, Son of David, save us. And this was in the shadow of the wall of the city of Jerusalem. There were people on the wall there who were soldiers. There were people on the wall who were part of the Pharisees and the Roman rulers. They would hear and see what people were doing and see it as rebellion or a protest. So maybe it was not quite so innocent. But Jesus was coming in for a very different purpose, as we know from the week. But that's what Palm Sunday was. The palms were laid in the road so that Jesus would have a blanket, a red carpet to enter the city. What he would do is enter and move towards the cross, which was the opposite of what they wanted to do, have a conquering hero that would throw out the Romans. But Jesus never accepted earthly power as a goal, as a solution to the problems of the people. He looked to the cross instead, which would save the people. So they got what they wanted, but not in the form that they wanted. And that's what we celebrate on Palm Sunday. It's not a triumphal entry as much as a prelude to crucifixion, which ends up in resurrection. And that resurrection on the next Sunday is the victory. Okay, I'll see you next time.